Does that mean you filmed Chakraji all sideways?
Did I film Thakurji sideways,
Oh,
everybody?
look, it's working. I think. Oh, wait, that's Oh my god, I was like, oh.
Is it working?
I was wondering how Momo had an outfit.
Is it working now?
Yes.
Did everyone get to see Thakurji?
I don't think so.
What's not happening?
No, it's fine now. No one, they didn't get to see Thakurji properly, but
Okay.
we'll do that after.
We will do that after. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
We're
But the
doing
kirtan
this.
must continue. The amount of delay with the internet and phone problems will just extend. So if it took 10 minutes extra, we'll extend 10 minutes extra.
We're new at this.
Sushant said yes.
Now we'll call out for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sachinandan Gaurahari.
Jai Ho.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Paramakaruna, page 84. Again. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda You can see it here, it's still going.
At some point you need darshan.
Sudevi, would you like to read Harinama Tua?
Okay. Page number.
Harinama Tua Aneka Swarupa, page 180.
Hari Rama
Buddhi Jale Dhritavana Sivedam. Sri Dashavata Stotram. Page 349.
All together.
Sorry out there? Is that Kirtan?
No, there's not.
All together.
Yeah, all together. It's the same pitch. The song. Okay, all together. Shari
stop? No.
Looks like it.
That's all Gurudeva said about singing now.
So, many years ago, we were in Boise, Idaho, with Srila Gurudeva, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayana, Goswami Maharaja. And that time, he has a disciple there. She used to live there. Her name is Janaki. And when he met her, he told her, "You are Ram Bhakta, so all of your endeavors should be toward Ram." He initiated her with the name Janaki, which is a name for Sita, and then he installed her Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. And I was trying to be one-pointed to Krishna when I was leading Kirtan. So as he's doing the installation, the Pram Pratishtha, I was chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Gurudev turned around and he said, basically we are installing Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, chant their names. So I started singing Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patitha Pavana Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram. And then he turned around and looked at me. Afterward, I was singing for some time and he said, Jai Jai Lakshman Jai Hanuman. So he wanted us to sing appropriately for who we were glorifying on that day. So we will sing some of that with Mahamantra.
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sriman Gaudiya Vaishnavism ki jai, Bhaktivedanta Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Radha Raman Sarkar ki jai, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Patipavan Shri Ramachandra ki jai, Shri Ram Navami Mahamahotsav ki jai, Syavar Ramachandra ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Quick darshan of Thakurji.
Darshan of Thakurji.
Hari Katha will begin in a minute, but as you can see, we have little Gopalji here. He's been playing Mridanga the whole time. Very important to see that. And all Thakurjis are here. And we have a special guest, Radha Ramanji and Radha Vinod Bihari Ji have dressed as forest dwellers, as they are, as Sita Ram. Okay. No, don't show me. Don't show me. Okay, Kishori Mohan Prabhu will begin. Hari Katha.
Just a quick tour of their place.
Stop. Hari Bol. All that was just the three of us. Now we're ready. And our pots and pans decided to join in the kirtan tonight. So, Kishori Mohan Prabhu, are you ready?
Hey. Okay.
Is it ready?
Yeah.
Kishori?
Meanwhile, Sudevi, what do you do?
Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye Tadbhaktaye Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangayate Girim Yatrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Ninatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupad, Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta, Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And the same into the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupad, Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, my Dandava Pranam. That includes all of you who are watching on Facebook Live, who are locked in your homes at this time, but we're all fortunate that we get to remember the glories and the pastimes of the Lord. So my Dandava Pranam to all of you. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sangstarpanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna tells why he appears in every millennium, in every yuga. Sambhavami yuge, yuge means in every yuga he manifests. For what purpose? To re-establish the principles of dharma or religion and to remove adharma or irreligion. He explains that irreligion manifests due to unwanted population. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, due to women being unprotected, so much unwanted population manifests. And due to lack of proper training, due to want or need of proper teachers and proper, you could say, dharmic figures in their life, they end up doing all kinds of sinful activities. And as a result, the world fills up with those who have sinful natures. So he comes to remove those sinful natures, or those sinful persons, and to re-establish dharma, to protect the devotees and to annihilate, vinashaya, dushkrita means to destroy or annihilate those who are against Krishna, against bhakti, against the bhaktas or devotees. So Krishna manifests in this world. But we know that in cosmic sleep, the manifestation of 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 Krishna, namely Mahavishnu, Karuna Dakshaya Vishnu, is lying in cosmic sleep. And simply in his state of yoga nidra, millions of universes, unlimited, are manifesting from him as he exhales. From every pore in his body, millions of universes manifest. And then when he inhales, everything goes back into its primordial state again within him. And then he breathes out again. So what need is there for him to come to this world? Actually, there's no real need, because instantly, without even a second moment of a thought, he can destroy unlimited demons. So why does he manifest in this world? Really? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantaschamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. He speaks about his devotees, how they are always relishing, hearing and discussing his transcendental activities. Because he has this innate tendency known as bhakta vatsalyata, means he has affection. Vatsalyata means parental, but really it's like the very affectionate mood toward his devotees. He manifests and performs so many pastimes. It is said in the Vedic scriptures that the Supreme Lord has unlimited incarnations. Advaitam achutam anadim anantarupam. Anantarupam. Anantarupam means unlimited forms, like waves in the ocean, or rivulets flowing toward the ocean. Unlimited forms are manifesting from him. They are all original, they are all unique, they are all eternal. Advaitam achutam anadim anantarupam. So this manifestation of the Lord, unlimited manifestations, come in so many ways for the purpose of increasing the devotees' transcendental ecstasy, because he has natural favor toward the devotees, because they also want to glorify him and his activities. So he manifests activities for them to remember him by. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always remembering me and always doing kirtan of me. This is what pleases his devotees. And his devotees have no desire for anything else other than to please him. So they know that he's pleased by chanting his names, because he says, Manmana bhava madbhakto. Chant my names, remember me, think of me, offer your pranam to me. So that's what they do to please him, but they have no selfish desire or selfish interest. So he continuously manifests so many pastimes for the pleasure of his devotees. In Sri Brahma Samhita and in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are two parallel verses. I'll quote Srimad Bhagavatam first. After mentioning so many different incarnations, so many different avatars, then Srimad Bhagavatam says, Ete changstakala pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Again it's saying he's manifesting from yuga to yuga. Indra Ari Vyakulam Lokam. Indra is the king of the demigods. Indra Ari means the enemies of the demigods. That means the demons. They're always trying to create havoc, trying to destroy the normal flow of things in this world. So those who are against Indra, usually what happens is the demons are fighting with the devas. The devas then go to Brahma and beg him to help them. Brahma goes to the bank of the Kirsagar. Kirsagar means the ocean of milk. And from a distance, not even that he can see, but he prays to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is present within each universe. And then he receives a message from the Lord in his heart. And that message is something like this. You should tell all of the devas that they should take birth. They should take birth in human form on any particular location on the earth, and I will come very soon, and I will perform my pastimes of destroying the demons. So Brahma makes arrangements for the demigods in communication with Vishnu. So Srimad Bhagavatam in this verse says, Ete changsa kala pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So many incarnations are there, but Krishna is himself the supreme, original, absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead. He is himself Bhagavan. And this is confirmed also in Brahma Samhita by the verse Ram Adi Murti. There it starts with Ram. Ram Adi Murti. And all other forms. Shukala Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishthan. Means they are all like manifestations of the Lord. Self-same Lord manifesting in so many different forms. Ram Adi Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishthan Nan Avataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu. Unlimited avatars are manifesting. But Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo. Krishna himself is the supreme origin of everything, of all of these avatars. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahma is saying that I am offering my pranam to Govinda, who is the origin of everything else. I am offering my love, my service to this Krishna. So this same Krishna, in all Shastras it is said that he is one without a second. That means that there is no one that is equal to or greater than him. And Brahma Samhita says that just as one fire makes another fire, fire is fire. So in the same way, the Supreme Lord manifests himself unlimitedly. All of these forms are him, they are complete, but still there is the perspective of the original fire. So that is Krishna. In Tattva, they are all the same. In the same way that you can look at the moon on any day, sometimes it is skinny, sometimes it is full, sometimes it's half, sometimes you don't even see it, but anyone with a little intelligence understands that the moon is always full. Even if you only see it skinny, still, that's only my perception. So the Supreme Lord, Krishna Chandra, manifests himself in so many different forms. Krishna Chandra is compared to the full moon. And he manifests in so many different phases or kala. So today, the phase or the aspect of Krishna, who is non-different from himself, who is himself, and who is also complete, who does not lose any part of himself. Om Purnam Madap Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. He is complete. He always remains complete. And even if he manifests himself unlimitedly, still he is full and complete. So this aspect of Krishna that we are remembering today, we chanted in this Sri Dashavar Stotram. Keshavadritta Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare. The same Krishna, Keshava, is manifesting in such a beautiful form as Ram. And Srimati Radhika, Uma, Rama, Satya, Shachi, Chandra, Rukmini, Radha, Avatar, Sabe, Am, Nayavani. She is the complete original Shakti, and from her all other Shaktis emanate. So from Krishna manifests Ram, from Srimati Radhika manifests Sita. Actually, they're performing pastimes, like anyone might be doing a drama. So, Krishna's, as we can see here, they're wearing forest outfits today. Sometimes in the temples they dress up Krishna and they have a bow and arrows. And maybe they might dress up Mahaprabhu like Lakshman, right? And Srimati Radhika as Sita. So this is the same principle. It's a transcendental roadshow. Krishna is manifesting in so many different forms for the pleasure of his devotees and performing such beautiful pastimes that even though technically this Treta Yuga Sri Ram did not manifest, but actually in the 8th Manvantar, which is millions of years ago, still these pastimes are so deep and, as our Gurudeva would say, so pathetic, means full of a mood of pathos, evoking a mood of weeping from one's heart, that still, even after so long, you can see how prominent the glories of Sri Ram and his devotees are. The glories of Hanuman, the glories of Sita, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna, all of Ram's Lila is still so prominent. So, Srila Gurudev and all of our Guru Varga wanted that on these days of the manifestations of the Lord in all of these different avatars, that we should absorb our minds fully in remembering those pastimes. Even reading the entire section from Srimad Bhagavatam and discussing it with one another. So Sri Ram manifested in Treta Yuga. I told already, in the 8th Manvantar. Why? For the purposes already mentioned, because there were demonic influences in this world, and also to fulfill so many promises that he had made and also that others had made. Even curses of devotees and things like that. Because the Lord is Bhaktavatsalya, he manifests and fulfills all of the desires of his devotees. For example, Hiranyakashipu begged from Brahma so many benedictions. Because Brahma is a devotee of the Lord had to manifest, he chose to manifest in a particular way to fulfill all of the promises of Brahma to Hiranyakashipu. Right? He couldn't be a human and he couldn't be an animal. He couldn't kill with any weapons inside or outside in the day or night or in any month. Any of these things he accommodated for making sure that his devotee, Brahma's word, would remain pure. So the Supreme Lord manifests like this also. There's so many histories in the Puranas, in the scriptures. So Sri Ram is known as Maryada Purushottam. Maryada means rules and regulations, establishing what is correct and proper behavior, what will make society flow purely and sweetly and properly in a way that everyone would be happy, everyone would benefit, everyone would prosper, and everyone would also be focused in their attention toward the Lord. Because only by that can actually any jiva be happy. So engaging everyone in the service of the Lord, this is also the function of the Lord to establish this. As Mahaprabhu came and established the Yuga Dharma of Harinam Sankirtan, for what purpose? To engage everyone in glorifying and remembering the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord for the benefit of all jivas and for the pleasure of the Lord. So Bhagavatam says, the supreme occupation for all humanity is to develop bhakti, love and devotion for the Supreme Lord. This will bring one complete perfection. Ito bhaktiradhokshaje ahaitiki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. So there are some histories that I'm going to tell, which we have learned from our Gurudev, and we have confirmed in Shastra. The original Ramayana is told by Valmiki, but in Bhavishya Purana, Mahadev Shankar himself is telling that this same Valmiki will manifest again in Kali Yuga in the form of Tulsidas and will manifest more of the pastimes of Sri Ram in a local vernacular, local kind of language. So Valmiki wrote the original Ramayana in Sanskrit, and again he manifests in the form of Tulsidas. This is mentioned in Bhavishya Purana. I don't have the exact shlok with me, but those of you who know it know what I'm talking about. So, Valmiki, he was a very, very special personality. There are some histories which tell that Valmiki previously was a very, very sinful person. Very sinful. He was a hunter. He used to kill animals, even half kill them, and enjoy watching them suffer. He was doing so many sinful activities. One day Narad Muni came to him and told him, you should chant the name of Ram. He was so sinful that he could not chant the name of Ram. He couldn't say Ram. So Narad Muni said to him, can you just say Mara? Mara means to kill. He said, sure, I do that all the time. Kill, kill, kill. Mara, Mara. So, very carefully following the order of Narad Muni, it took him quite some time. The magic number, if you see in all of the scriptures, is about 60,000 of our years. But in the timeline of eternity, that's very quick. Valmiki was chanting as he was told by Sri Narad Muni. Yes, he was his guru, but even then he could not chant the name of the Lord. But gradually, over time, by following the order of the pure devotee, chanting Mara, 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 Ram, his heart became purified, and then he began chanting the name of Ram. It purified him to such an extent that he was able to witness all of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord in his internal darshan. And it is said that before Ram came and manifested his pastimes in this world, Valmiki had already written down, up to a certain point, Sri Ramayana, because he witnessed the pastimes of the Lord. This is a very special characteristic of someone who has attained purity, or someone who is pure, meaning Ram, Krishna, or any pure devotee. In Srimad Bhagavatam, they are referred to as Bhagavan, and this implies also that they are aware of the three phases of time, Trikalagya, past, present, and future, so they can see everything. So Valmiki was able to see the pastimes of Ram and wrote them down in this Sri Ramayana. And so the kathas that I'm going to be telling today are coming from Valmiki Ramayana and also from Ramcharitamanas, as I have read and heard from my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And I guarantee you everything can be verified scripturally. Because I used to think that it couldn't, and I used to test. And then I would find out, sure enough, oh, there it is. It's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's there in this scripture. It's there in that scripture. I've tried many times and I thought, no, this is too much. But then I saw, yes, this is true. Like, for example, many times before I've heard that Srila Gurudev said that Tulsidas is the incarnation of Valmiki in Kali Yuga. But I didn't hear the scriptural quote from him. But yesterday I heard someone else giving the scriptural quote, and I did research, and sure enough, it's there in Bhavishya Purana, spoken by Lord Shiva himself. So there's an example of confirmation. So Dasharatha Maharaj, he was the king of Ayodhya and also emperor of the world. He was a very, very powerful warrior. He could not have any children. It is said that he had three main queens. The first prime queen is Kaushalya, another one is Kaikeyi, another one is Sumitra, and of course it is said he had 360 queens. But he could not have any children. There are so many histories, but I'll come to that after. So Dasharatha Maharaj was advised to perform yajna. And by this yajna, a very special kheer, sweetbreast, was given to him. And he was instructed that he should share that or give it to his queens. So he gave some to Kaushalya. He divided it in half. He gave half to Kaushalya and half to Kaikeyi. And then Sumitra, they noticed that also she wanted, so each of them divided in their portion in half and they gave to Sumitra. By the power of this yajna, taking this prasad from the yajna, these three became pregnant. It was not any ordinary pregnancy. This is divine. And generally this is how the Supreme Lord manifests, in a very divine way. Like Krishna in the prison of Kamsa was manifested in the womb of Devaki by mantra given by Vasudeva Maharaj. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Also Nanda and Yashoda.
I don't know that much.
I heard Gurudeva say it today.
So he does not manifest according to our normal mundane ways of making children. He manifests in a divine way. So in this case, Dasharatha Maharaj, he had prayed to have children, but he could not. Finally, he received this sweet rice, this kheer. He gave it to his queens, and within a very short time, they bore children. When the first child was born to Kaushalya, his name was Ram. He did not appear like an ordinary child. He also appeared in a four-armed form. And they offered prayers to him, just as Krishna in the jail cell of Kamsa did not first appear as a baby, but appeared in a four-armed form, and Vasudeva and Devaki offered prayers to him, then begged him to take a baby form, and he said, but immediately take me to Vrindavan. In the same way, Ram manifested in a four-armed form, and then they prayed to him, then he manifested a childlike form. So this young Ram was the apple of the eye of not only Dasharatha Maharaj, but of all of Ayodhya, all of the queens, even Kaikeyi. Her own son was Bharat, but she didn't see that this is not my son and this is my son. Sumitra gave birth to Lakshman and Shatrughna. Lakshman is an incarnation of Baladev Prabhu. Bharat and Shatrughna are manifestations of the weapons of the Lord, and Ram is a manifestation of Krishna. So, Ram was the favorite. He was the eldest and the favorite. And all of the Ayodhya Vasis, they were completely smitten by his beauty, by his charm, by his sweetness, by his activities. And because he was the eldest son, everyone was certain that he would be the king. Everyone wanted Ram to be the king. This is natural. He was the oldest son. He was so charming, so soft, so attractive, so sweet, so beautiful. So everyone was hoping for this, even from the time he was very young. When the time came for his coronation, it so happened that Bharat and Shatrughna were away at their uncle's house at another location. And Dasharatha Maharaj had made a very firm declaration to all of Ayodhya that tomorrow Sri Rama will be crowned king of Ayodhya and emperor of the world. But it so happened that many, many years before, when he was fighting on the side of the Devas, he was very, very powerful. At that time, a very amazing warrior princess whom he had married, her name was Kaikeyi. She also was fighting alongside him. She was also very powerful. And he was so pleased. She also was helping and taking care of him in every way. He was so pleased that he granted her, at that time, anything she desired. 2 booms. She said, when the time is right, I will ask them from you, but not now. He said, okay. So what had happened? Ram was to be crowned, coronated as the king and the emperor. And she was so excited, so happy. All of Ayodhya was excited and happy. But due to providence, something happened. Kaikeyi's maid, her name was Manthara. This Kaikeyi's maid said to her, hey, if Ram is crowned king, then you will become simply the maidservant of Kaushalya, Ram's mother. And your son will also be like his slave. Bharat will be his slave. You don't want this. So in essence, she was poisoning the mind of Kaikeyi. Until that moment, Kaikeyi had eyes only for Ram. She was completely smitten. She loved Ram more than her own life. But due to this association with unfavorable persons, her mind became a little bit confused. So our Srila Gurudeva explains that when Ram was quite young, Kaikeyi was playing with Ram. And that time, he said, Mother, I need you to do something for me. He sat on her lap and he was so affectionate toward her, and she said, anything. What is it? He said, if I tell you, you have to promise that you will do it. She said, I will do anything for you. I would give my life for you. He said, you have to promise that you will do it, and you cannot back out of your word. She said, whatever you want, I would give you my own life. He said, I have come to do so many things in this world. There will be a time when my father wants to crown me king. But you will have to tell my father that you want me to be sent to the forest and you want your son Bharat to be crowned king instead. She said, how can I do this? I could never do it. And Ram said, I have so many things I must do. And he actually explained that this is my function. I have come to annihilate the demons and to protect the devotees. So many demons are here like Ravan. I have to take care of these demons and help the devotees. Re-establish the principles of Dharma. You have to promise to do this, but don't tell anybody else. This broke her heart, just the idea of it. But she agreed. I will not tell anybody. And he said, when the time comes, you will have to do that. When my father wants to coronate me, you will have to make that. So then Manthara is telling Kaikeyi, we have to understand so many different things are going on here. So in this case, she is following the order of Ram. And in the other case, it is showing how one's mind can be manipulated by asat sangha. And we should take all of the lessons to heart. One should follow the order of the Lord. One should do what is pleasing to the Lord. Even if the entire universe is against me. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he said, even if all of the conditioned souls who are averse to Krishna and all of the millions of universes shout at me in one voice the untruth, I alone will stand in the face of all of them and boldly proclaim the truth. Even if everyone is against me, my Gurudev, our Gurudev would say this, even if the whole world is against me, as long as I'm holding the feet of my Gurudev, no harm, never mind. I will continue to teach and share the truth. So Kaikeyi, she took this order of the Lord into her heart of Ram, even though it was such a bitter pill to swallow. Still, then Manthara is contaminating her mind. Oh, you should remember these two boons that you were given. You should send Ram to the forest. Why? Because if he remains in Ayodhya, he might make an army. He might actually make a coup against your son. Because we all know that everyone loves Ram. Everyone wants him to be king. But you'll just become a slave, a maidservant in the palace of Ram's mother. So she was poisoning her mind with all of these ideas. And at that time, Kaikeyi made a very, very strong declaration in front of Dasharath Maharaj. When he said, it was the day of the coronation of Ram, and Kaikeyi, She went to the Man Bhavan. You know what Man Bhavan is? Or sometimes called the Krodha Bhavan, the anger room. Usually the princesses, if they were angry, or the queens, they would take off all their jewelry, all of their fancy clothes, put on something white, and go and pout in the anger room. And then the king, the husband, his duty is to make sure that his wife is satisfied. He would have to go and somehow try to pacify her.
I need one of those.
This happened in Dwarka when Satyabhama became angry. Why? Because Nard came and handed a parijata flower to Krishna from the heavenly planets in front of 16,108 queens and told Krishna, give it to your favorite queen. Krishna was like, oh my God. And he thought, well, the way to deal with this is I should give it to my first queen, that's Rukmini. So he gave it to Rukmini. Satyabhama, she has Mamya Bhav, leftist mood. She left that place immediately, went to the anger room, the Man room, the jealous anger room, and she began to pout. What did Krishna do? Perfect husband. He got on the back of Garuda. Garuda brought her with him, went to the heavenly planets, fought with all the demigods, took an entire parijata tree and planted it in her backyard. So this Kaikeyi went to the anger room, and Dasharath Maharaj went to pacify her. How may I pacify you? She said, do you remember those 2 boons that you promised me way back when? He said, yes, of course. She said, I want that my son Bharat should be crowned king instead of Ram. Dasharath Maharaj is like, what? How could you even say this? How could you say such a thing? This completely shocked him. And then she added the clincher on top of it. And that Ram should be banished to the forest for 14 years. Because she knew that Ram would follow the order of his father because he is Maryada Purushottam, the supreme personality of Godhead who is teaching by his own example how to follow proper etiquette, Maryada, rules and regulations, among which the chief is Satyam, honesty, truthfulness. So if he makes a vow, he will follow through with it. Dasharath Maharaj fainted on the spot. His heart began to shake. He could not believe that his favorite queen, Kaikeyi, who loved Ram more than life itself, is going to banish Ram to the forest for 14 years and wants Bharat crowned king instead?
Today I was listening to Srila Gurudeva and he said that Dasarath Maharaj said, I will even crown Bharat king, but please don't make me send him away.
I'm sure you all just heard that. So please don't make me send him away. But this was one of her conditions. And once she said it, also she's dharmic, she kept with her word. Dasharath Maharaj knew that he had to follow through. Why? Because when he wanted to marry her, one of the conditions was, because he couldn't have children, her father said that her son will be crowned king. And he's like, of course, I can't even have children, so of course, if I had a son, I would be so happy, of course I would crown him king. So he had made his word. Our Gurudev said also, he was a little concerned that because he had made this vow, that if Bharat was there in Ayodhya at the time, that it could create some problems. So he knew that he wanted to coronate Ram at the time when Bharat and Shatrughna were out of town. So he had made this vow, but he still was thinking about the happiness of the people. All of the people of Ayodhya were completely in love with Ram and they wanted Ram to be the king of Ayodhya. So he was thinking, yes, what will make everyone happy? Even Bharat loved Ram more than love itself. So he wanted to have Ram as king as well. So Dasharath Maharaj was thinking like this. But when Kaikeyi gave her rules, these 2 boons, Dasharath Maharaj was completely heartbroken. When Ram came in front of Dasharath and Kaikeyi on the day of coronation, everyone outside was dancing, they were making festivals, festoons, they were decorating and singing and so happy. Ram is going to be coronated as king. Ram went in front of Dasharath Maharaj, his father, and Kaikeyi, who he had so much love and affection for. And she said in front of Dasharath Maharaj, my son Bharat is going to be crowned king instead. Ram was okay with that. Internally he knew, oh, now she's following through with my request for her. And he didn't say anything. Dasharath Maharaj also could not say anything. Because he was also Maryada. He's following very strict rules of Dharma.
Silence is confinement.
And she said, and you should also be banished to the forest for 14 years. Dasharath Maharaj also could not say anything at that point. And Ram understood, because my father is not saying anything, he is complying with what she is saying. Silence is complicity. We have all heard this. If aparad is being made, and you don't stand up to defend the person whom aparad is being made against, then you are implicated in that aparad. In fact, Shastra says that 5-mile radius of that aparad, everyone is contaminated by that aparad, that offense, within a 5-mile radius. Especially if you have awareness of that aparad and you don't say anything. So Ram understood, my father is compliant with this, therefore I accept this as the order of my father. Very happily, without any attachment, he decided, okay, I will go to the forest. Immediately, he began to remove his valuable jewels, all of his princely clothing and everything. He began taking, he made his hair matted very quickly. He took deer skins and his bow and arrow. He was going to the forest. Lakshman was like, I'm going to go with you. I cannot live without you. Ram accepted Lakshman. Then Sita Devi, she's like, I cannot live without you. You are my husband. You are my everything. How can I stay here? He said, you're so soft. You're a princess. You're not made for the woods. It's very dangerous there. There's so many animals. And she said, never mind. I will go with you. So she was also behaving according to the proper Maryada. Not only Maryada. Her heart, her everything was Ram. And so our Srila Prabhupada made the point that these days, it might be that a husband, when he's rich, the wife will be like, yes, I'll stay with him. But if he becomes poor, then she'll neglect him and reject him. But Sita is showing the proper duty. Not duty even, the heart, the mood and the heart of a proper wife. Whether he's rich or poor, I'm always with him. The wife should feel that I am like the shadow of my husband. And she felt like that for Ram. I cannot live without you. How can I remain here and you go to the forest? I certainly will go with you. So Ram consented and accepted that Sita would go. All of Ayodhya, their hearts were shattered. Their hearts broke. How is this possible? How could this happen? He was supposed to be coronated today. Not only is he not being coronated, he's being sent to the forest for 14 years. This was their very life. Their very soul was being ejected, excommunicated from their own heart. They could not fathom this. Everyone was fainting. When Ram left Ayodhya to go to the forest at that time, his own father Dasharath Maharaj could not bear the pain, could not take the suffering in the separation from Ram, and he could not maintain his life. He could not maintain his life. He left this world in heartbreak. Calling out the name of Ram. He left this world. Ram, Sita, Lakshman. They went to the forest. First in a nearby place. At that time, Bharat Maharaj was recalled. Bharat and Shatrughna, they came back to the kingdom. He had heard something. He was like, what? Kaikeyi said, yes.
He entered Ayodhya, and Gurudev said it looked as if it was like a widow. Instead of a celebration and instead of the coronation and happiness,
Right.
that Ayodhya looked like a widow.
Because I remember reading, Srila Gurudeva said it looked like somebody had died. Everyone was in a deep, dark, morose state. What has happened here? It was all inauspicious symptoms. Ayodhya was always happy. Everyone was blissful. They were always dancing and light and everything. What has happened? What has happened? Kaikeyi told him that I had banished him to the forest for 14 years and you're going to be crowned king instead. And he was asking, where is my father? Where is my father? And he had already left this world. Bharat became so angry. He's like, who did this? She said, I did this for you. I did this for you. He was like, I cannot consider you my mother any longer. Why did he said, I would not cease to take your head off immediately.
But it would upset Lord Ram. I would kill you in a moment.
If it would not upset Ram, I would not cease to take off your head immediately. So Bharat became so angry at her. I will never accept this role of being the king. Ram is the rightful king. He was so angry, and in that moment he rejected her. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Gurur na sasyat, svajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyan, daivam na sasyan, napatishta sasyan, namochaya dyas samupeta mrityum. That person who is in the role of guru, but who is opposed to serving the Lord, who is opposed to serving Krishna or Bhagavan, they are not fit to be in that position because they cannot save you from the path which leads to death. Therefore, they are fit to be rejected. As Bali Maharaj rejected the order of his Guru Shukracharya in order to serve Vamandev. Because of this, Bali Maharaj is glorified in all scriptures. Prahlad disobeyed the order of his father Hiranyakashipu and continued to worship Krishna, chant the names of Krishna. Hiranyakashipu was his father. To follow the order of one's father is considered the highest thing, to follow the order of their parents. But he rejected that in order to serve the Lord, and for this he is glorified in all scriptures. And in this case, Janani Nasasyan. Janani means who has given birth to you. This means your mother. Kaikeyi ejected Ram from the kingdom and made this situation. Bharat Maharaj said, from this day, you are no longer my mother. I do not recognize you as my mother. You may be the queen of Ayodhya, but you are not my mother. So he rejected her from that moment. And this, because of this, he is glorified in all Shastras. His nishtha in loving and serving Krishna. Of course, we must remember that hers was so great that even though she knew that the entire world would be against her, everyone would reject her, still for the service of Ram, to follow his instruction, she gave up everything for Ram, including having everyone hate her. Who can do this for the service of the Lord? Tell it. What? So Bharat Maharaj, along with all of the kingdom, all of the Ayodhyavasis, immediately set out for Chitrakoot to go find Ram and bring him back. He could not tolerate this. He could not tolerate it, not for a moment. All of the Ayodhyavasis were weeping, and they all went with Bharat to go bring Ram back. Even Kaikeyi herself went. She went and she began begging Ram, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I've done. Please, you must come back. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Come back. You are the rightful king. She realized she had lost everything. Ram said, what can I do? My father, he gave his word by consenting, and I cannot go back on the word of my father. You might be saying it, but you're only half. He's the other half, and he is not saying it. And he has given his word, and now he cannot retract it. So what can I do? I cannot return. Bharat Maharaj was desperate. He told Kaushalya, you go and petition Ram. She's like, he won't listen to me. He will follow the order of his father. He petitioned so many, even Vashishta. You should go. He was the guru of the Ayodhya Vasis. You go and tell Ram. Vashishta Rishi said, he will not disobey what his father has said. What can I do? Out of desperation, he petitioned also the mother of Sita. I can't remember her name at the moment. Sunaina or something. He petitioned the mother of Sita, the wife of Janak Maharaj. Please, you don't want your daughter going to the forest. She's so soft, she's so tender, she's a princess. She's not made for forest living. She won't be able to survive. There's so many demons. Please, petition on her behalf that Ram comes back. She said, what can I say? My husband will never consent to this. Her husband is Janak Maharaj. Janak Maharaj is the father of Sita. He's also known in Srimad Bhagavatam as one of the Mahajans. Mahajans means great personalities. So he's one of these great personalities who is considered equal in all respects. He will follow the process or the path of dharma in all respects, and he will not deviate an inch from it. So therefore he's considered like what the Supreme Court judges should be. There's a certain population, Bhishmadev, Janak, these persons are known as Mahajan. And Shastra says, Mahajano Yena Katha Sapanta, we should follow the path of the great personalities, the Mahajans. So they made Janak Maharaj the judge. They put Ram on one side with Sita and Lakshman, and on the other side was Bharat, Shatrughna, all of the Ayodhya Vasis, the mothers, the queens, Vashishta Rishi, everyone on the other side. And then they had a court case. And this court case was to establish that Ram should be coronated as king and he should return to Ayodhya immediately. So Bharat Maharaj pleaded his case desperately. And after he pleaded his case, also Ram pleaded his case. His case was very simple. My father has given this instruction. He has not been able to retract it. So what can I say? What can I do? So Ram's Maryada, his following the rules and regulations and following the order of his father, was so strong, immovable, like a mountain. And Bharat Maharaj's love, affection, and even all of his reasonings, they were overwhelmingly powerful. His love and affection. So Janak Maharaj, when he was weighing, he was saying, yes, okay. And Bharat Maharaj and all Ayodhya Vasis, even Kaikeyi, they're all saying, yes, Ram should come back. This will benefit everyone, this will benefit the kingdom, this will make everyone happy. And his love is so great that it is like an ocean that completely overfloods and takes over and drowns Ram's ocean of Ram's mountain of Maryada. Janak Maharaj said, so in my opinion, Bharat has won this case. All of the Ayodhya Vasis were uproarious in joy. Bharat Maharaj was so excited, his heart was jumping with excitement and joy. Everyone was so happy. Yes, Ram will come back to Ayodhya, he'll be coronated the king, everyone will be happy and blissful. But Janak Maharaj was still sitting there pondering. And Bharat Maharaj's stomach sunk a little bit. He got a lump in his throat. Why is Janak Maharaj so silent? Why is he sitting? Then Janak Maharaj said, but one thing you must consider. Even though you have won this case, your love has completely overpowered. There's no rules and regulations to this kind of praying in Shastra. It wins and defeats everything. But we must understand what is the definition of praying. Then our Gurudev quotes the verse which Rupa Goswami has given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. What is pure bhakti? What is pure love? Anukulyena krishna anushilanam. What is favorable for Krishna's happiness, for his pleasure, for his benefit? What is exclusively for him? without any selfish desire. Jnana karma adi anavritam. It's not covered by these things. So Janak Maharaj laid out this proposition. Was there any point in your consideration where you didn't think exclusively for what Ram wants and what's for his benefit, but you were thinking about you, all of the Ayodhya-vasis, what you wanted, what the Ayodhya-vasis might think of you if you accepted the position of king when they wanted Ram instead? Was there any moment when you were thinking about what you might want or what others might want and not what Ram might want or what is beneficial for him? At that time, Bharat Maharaj, his heart broke completely. He lowered his head. All of the Ayodhya-vasis were completely devastated. They realized Ram wants to follow this course. What can we do? So in love and affection for Ram, they had to accept what Ram wanted to do and needed to do at their own expense.
And Gurudev said that Ram then said, okay, I accept the kingdom. I'm accepting it. I am the king. I am the ruler.
You should come here.
No, go ahead.
So Srila Gurudev explained, and this is told in Ramayana and Ramcharitamanas, that Ram, he accepted because still this was the principle. Because Bharat had won, Ram accepted, okay? Because Bharat was still refusing, but then Ram accepted, okay, I'll be the king, but I want to do this. So you have to follow my instruction because I'm the king. Bharat Maharaj was like, oh. So Ram said, I want you to rule in my place while I'm following the order of my father to be out in the forest for 14 years. You should rule in my place. And then he gave his own shoes, his padukas, to Bharat. Bharat took those shoes, installed them, established them, and worshipped them as non-different from Ram because the name, form, qualities, pastimes, paraphernalia of the Lord are non-different from the Lord. So Bharat realized this. He worshipped those shoes. He thought only of Ram. He himself made himself like Ram. He did not sleep inside the palace. He stayed outside. All of his ministers and everyone stayed like him. They remained as Ram would remain. Ram was sleeping on the ground in very, very simple situation. He was not eating very expensive and nice foods. He was eating simple roots and fruits and leaves from the forest. So Bharat, all of his ministers and all of the Ayodhya-vasis, they accepted voluntarily, out of love for Ram, that we will not enjoy or take any position superior to that of Ram. So Ayodhya-vasis, Bharat and all of the kingdom remained outside of the palace and in a very simple way like Ram, with matted hair, sleeping on the ground, and only thinking, Bharat was only thinking, I am managing and doing all this only as a servant of Sri Ram. This is his intrinsic, natural mood of service to Sri Ram. So from that time, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, they entered deeper into the forest. Did I speak enough about that?
Yes.
They entered deeper into the forest. And of course, so many different pastimes took place.
But time is short.
But time is very short. So, when Ram and Lakshman were in the forest, they were defeating so many demons. They were helping the sages who were present in the forest, who were always being harassed by demons. Demons would come and disturb their yajnas, would destroy their crops, would harass them. And so Ram and Lakshman were always helping all of the sadhus who resided within the forest. And Sita was serving very nicely Sri Ram. One day, one demoness approached the cottage of Ram and Lakshman and Sita. she had made herself into a very, very beautiful form, like a goddess of fortune. Because Rakshasi